the point of wearing a necklace that is an AI friend when you can just go outside and make actual friends? And you know how funny it is? Like, you need to download an app, and then your necklace is connected to the app.
Yeah.
So when you are speaking to it, you raise it, you speak to it, then you put it back. It takes that information, puts it in the app, processes, then it responds to you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we sort of like, so I mean, I want an AI assistant, but I think that is taking it a bit too far.
Yeah. Just the concept of AI friends, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I feel it feels a bit dystopian.
Hello world, and welcome to Tech Tac Toe. Tech Tac Toe is a podcast where we discuss the latest trends in tech news, the product announcements, and generally everything happening globally in tech and possibly in your local market as well. My name is Dami, and
I'm Yana Adeleka.
And we are your hosts on Tech Tac Toe. So Yanu, it's been a very fantastic year for tech, really. It seems like everywhere I go, there's AI staring at me somewhere. Just as a random bit, the Black Tech Fest happened in London in the previous week, and it was like walking into an event literally sponsored by AI. AI in storytelling, how to make money with AI, how to do engineering with AI.
Yeah.
Quite interesting, really. What has been AI like for you lately?
What has AI been like for me? I feel like I completely agree with you. Number one, there have been so many interesting AI products coming out recently, right? For me personally, I've been using AI as a tool in my day-to-day, specifically for research purposes. Like when I'm going really deep into a particular subject, AI can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Another interesting use case I have been using more and more frequently recently is I've been doing quite a bit of cooking.
Oh.
And yeah, I've also been relying quite a bit on ChatGPT for like cooking recipes and stuff. Besides that, obviously, since I'm cooking more, I'm also doing a lot more shopping in the market.
Oh.
And I can't be bothered to keep track of the different prices of different goods and products and stuff like that. So whenever I'm done shopping, I get the receipt, I take a picture and literally just upload ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has been keeping track of all the different items I buy. So if I want to go to the market again, I can just tell ChatGPT what I want to buy and it's to give me the breakdown of the prices, and I go shopping. Yeah.
That is an interesting use case that I'm sure the ChatGPT team have not thought about. Well, in recent happenings, which brings us to like our first piece of news, did you see the new addition they want to put into ChatGPT that allows you to actually shop while you're using ChatGPT?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not seen that.
Like, so it's going to be like full-blown e-commerce, and you'll be able to pick out the products right within the ChatGPT interface without leaving the ChatGPT interface to buy whatever you want.
I see.
And I think it's like super cool because, I mean, for cases like yourself where you actually like try recipes and you're snapping your receipt, sending it to chat, you could more or less like just maybe tell it to take note of the things and order on your behalf. Yeah.
There've actually been quite a number of interesting integrations that the team at OpenAI have been working on with ChatGPT. Besides the one you just mentioned, there's also an integration with Uber that will allow you to kind of like book your rides. I'm not sure that that's been released yet, but I do know they're working on that. Besides that, they're also integrating with a bunch of other third-party companies. Like also there is an integration with Booking.com that they've been working on, and different interesting little products that are coming on. Yeah.
You know, one of the funniest things that I was telling one of my friends recently was the fact that ChatGPT has established themselves as such a strong shareholder in the artificial intelligence market. I feel like it's starting to influence some other product roadmap. Because you see ChatGPT release a new update, you literally have to like call a product meeting in some companies and be like, okay, based on this new release, okay, what do we need to change in the product roadmap? Oh, they've added like ability for people to like integrate with Booking.com. Maybe we need to like make that like easy to book hotels, book transport, and book everything. So it's so interesting because the use cases is inexhaustible, and at this point I feel like they might announce sometime next week like, oh, they've started making actual robots, or they've started like creating humans within their products. You can order it.
And another interesting thing that OpenAI sort of like released recently is Agent Kit. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's kind of like a UI builder. Like it's like a more like a UI powered agentic builder that OpenAI has kind of been working on. So pretty much via drag and drop, you can pretty much build an agent with the agent kits, and you can actually test it in their UI as well. So yeah, it is pretty cool. There are a lot of interesting products coming up.
It really does make sense. So starting with our first piece of news to dive into piggybacking off the ChatGPT structure, Figma has partnered with Google to add Gemini AI to its design platform. As a product designer, this makes me very happy, obviously, because it's like, I mean, Figma does a good job right now with some of the new features they released earlier this year. There's the Figma size that allows you to generate a website. There's Figma Make that you can use to like prompt.
Yeah.
But with this Gemini AI and Google coming on board, this is just going to be like a stronger relationship.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like there are just so many different companies that are working on optimizing and improving their products with AI. Specifically for the Figma case, there are a number of models that they're integrating with. There is Gemini 2.5 Flash. There is also Gemini 2.0, and I believe it's Imagine 4 as well. And basically the whole idea of this is that users will be able to actually use instructions via prompts to generate images and also like modify them as well. So yeah, pretty exciting and pretty cool. Figma has over like 13 million or so users.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I am definitely going to be looking out for what these customers actually build, because obviously designers are so like innovative, right? And I'm really gonna look forward to seeing the actual product that images are developed. Yeah.
I think this makes like a whole lot of sense, because I mean, Figma has the AI thing within their own products, but it's just not fast enough. And the test that Figma as a company said, this collaboration with Gemini will actually allow users to get up to 50% reduction in latency when they're using like the generate image feature. So faster, easier. I'm not sure if it's going to increase the price or how much we're paying for Figma, because Figma is like hot rolls right now. You're paying per seat. If they come and they're like, oh yeah, for you to use the new Gemini integration, pay like additional money. That's when I will start to actually complain.
But what do you think, as a designer, what do you think about the current price of Figma? Do you think that it gives enough value for enough bang for the buck? Do you feel like it should be cheaper? What do you think about that?
That is a good question. I feel like for me, really, because there are two sides to it. There's the personal part and then there's the enterprise part. When you are running a Figma company account, they tend to like charge based on each person that is added to a seat. From a personal point of view, I mean, it's not that crazy because I get to like do a lot of things with my subscription. But when it gets to the enterprise part, it starts to feel more complicated, because it's like there's certain things you can do when you have this particular seat or you're paying this amount, and there's certain things that you can't do if you're not paying like up to this amount. And if you're trying to like add additional features, sometimes they just tell you, oh, you used up too many pages. You need to like pay to get more pages. And that is in the sense of it. I don't want to say greedy, but it's one of the reasons a lot of people don't like Adobe Creative Suite, because it's just like you have to pay for every single thing, like pay for Photoshop, pay for Illustrator. Why can't you just charge like a flat fee and sort of like make it easy for people to use everything within what they're paying for?
Yeah.
I know this sounds Figma again. Obviously, I love you. I want you to make money, make revenue as much as possible, but really, the whole pricing structure, it needs to be reviewed, and it needs to be reviewed. That's my honest thoughts about it.
It's an interesting topic that you mentioned, Adobe, because once in a while I do see people really upset about how Adobe handles especially subscriptions. For example, if a person subscribes, right, and then wants to actually cancel this subscription,
they make it so hard for you to get on.
They make it so hard. And there's also some really bizarre cancellation fee. If you decide to end it, assuming you're on an annual contract, you sort of like have to forfeit the entire thing based on how long you have left. So it's so complicated, really, like. And the funny thing about it is, like, some products you can pay on a monthly basis, but then when you pay on an annual basis, they probably give you like a large discount.
And that is supposed to be like the appeal about it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you think I'm saving so much money by paying for a whole year, but assuming you change your mind, then it's just like really complicated to get out of this if that 1 year has not completely run out.
Yeah, I think Adobe's own case is also a bit even more nuanced, because I read something about them sort of like phrasing the subscription in a way that's made it appear like a monthly subscription, whereby you're actually paying like every month, but then even though you're technically being debited every
month,
it's still counted as a yearly
contract,
right? And if you choose to cancel it, right, you're gonna have like some steep charge, like you said, right? It's
I know at some point, was it last year or the year before, Adobe and Figma were trying to sort of like merge, and it was such a scary time for designers. We were panicking because we were just thinking what was going to happen when that happens, because I know when I started designing, one of the earlier tools I used was like Adobe XD, and I quite liked Adobe XD, but I think when Figma came in, it just sort of like took more precedence over Adobe XD. And I was like, if Adobe should acquire Figma, that is going to be a nightmare because the pricing will be all over the place. And in the end, the merge didn't go through. But that was no apologies, Adobe. No apologies. Apologies, Adobe. Apologies, Figma. It was a relief for us designers to not see the merger.
Do you think that if the merger happened, Figma would have been able to move this fast with integrating AI?
I don't think so.
You don't?
Nope. Because I would like to be a fly on the wall in the Figma company. If you have access to the Figma headquarters, please invite me. I would love to come and do it.
Invite me.
I'd love to come and do an excursion, see how things work. But I feel like Figma as a tool itself, it's so expansive and creative. I feel like there's several parts to it, and thinking about the way AI really incorporates is something that they've been able to really master. That's the best way to put it. Because image generation is one part. Then you're thinking, oh, you know what? We want to take over from Figma websites that are actually meant for creating portfolios and things like that. Because I mean, Figma is a design tool. If I want to create a design portfolio, there's no reason why I should have to leave Figma to go somewhere else and create my portfolio. So I'm thinking within their product team, they must have been like, what is the best way we can make this happen? Like get people to stay within the product. Adobe comes off to me as sort of like an enterprise that wants to separate all of that, make it like one product for a particular feature. I mean, that's the way it runs right now. Illustrator does a good job at illustration, artwork, and things like that. Photoshop is more or less like for graphic manipulation and everything that is still tied to creativity. You think about Lightroom. Lightroom is strictly for photography. You can't do anything else with Lightroom. So yeah, there's a bit of that disparity between both products. In my opinion, I might be wrong, but essentially Figma wants to keep everything design related within their product. Adobe will likely tend to separate them and then monetize each one of it. So moving on to a bit more news around ChatGPT. This is about Sora.
Yeah, Sora recently launched on the iOS App Store, and it's been making waves. It quickly went to the top of the App Store, basically, and it actually reached 1 million downloads faster than ChatGPT, which is no meager feat, right? And the more interesting aspect of that, or why it's more impressive, is because OpenAI actually used a kind of like a can I say referral, right? Or more like an invite-based system to actually onboard and permit users to have access to the app, right? And obviously, just thinking about it, that should have slowed down kind of like adoption, right? But then it's regardless of the invite-based approach they took, it grew to 1 million faster than ChatGPT.
I think that's so fascinating, really, because so the head of Sora literally said like Sora reached 1 million downloads under 5 days.
Yeah.
And the estimate from the iOS download for Sora was like 627K compared to ChatGPT's 606K.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like relatively close, but doing 1 million under 5 days, yeah, that is really massive for a product that requires invites to get access. I would think a lot of people will be thrown off by the fact that you need to get an invite because it's just like, why do I need to be invited? But still.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, just thinking about it, there are really not that many cases of applications that you use an invite-based approach that actually reached massive adoption.
No.
Well, one recent one, by recent I mean like a few years back, that I recollect is Clubhouse.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's so good you mentioned Clubhouse because I thought that product had a lot of potential. It's owned lockdown in 2020. Like everyone was literally on lockdown, and I thought it was going to be the Twitter alternative. But first things first, something I feel like they didn't do right was, one, they limited it to the iOS platform initially, and it was like, if you don't have an iPhone, then you can't use Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Why? Then two, what you said about it being invites only. Like, do you want your product to be for everyone, or do you not want your product to be for anyone?
Yeah.
And it was later they now decided to like make it open for other platforms. Like, come on, people were over it by then.
Yeah, definitely. Like the whole invite-based approach is great for building kind of like initial buzz, but it had this kind of, for Clubhouse, it had this kind of prestige element to it.
Like the photo.
Not everybody was on Clubhouse, but then only the cool kids were on Clubhouse.
I can remember seeing like quite a number of what's it called, screen recordings on Twitter.
Yeah.
People that couldn't get into Clubhouse. So they just like wait for those that were in Clubhouse to make a screen recording of the conversations that were happening on Clubhouse and come and post on Twitter. And I was like, what's the absolute trenches? Like, what is the reason?
Interesting.
So
those were good times too.
They really were nice times. I think Clubhouse like had a game feature as well. Yeah, it did. It did have a game feature where you could play games with other people. Yes, I know what you're about to say now. Like, why do I like games within my product? Is part of the reason I like the iPhone. And we've said this before.
iMessage game.
Yes, and you don't, guys. This guy sitting opposite me doesn't like the new Apple phones.
I'm
calling you out.
No, don't get me wrong. It's like they're okay, right? They're okay.
Have you seen the 17 Pro? Like, have you seen the 17 Pro?
Yeah. To be honest,
in orange,
I have seen the orange color, right? And I like the orange, to be honest, but then the huge camera bump, or what they call the plateau, just rubs me the wrong way.
Okay, fair. You know what? I get that, because even with the 17 Air, it claims to be the slimmest iPhone, but there's still that camera bump.
Yeah, that massive bump.
So explain.
Now we're just ignoring the bump. We don't talk.
We don't talk. But it looks like the letter P, and I was just like, whoa, the bottom is like really slim.
Yeah.
The bump is there. We can't ignore it. I'm sorry. It's hard to.
That the shape of the phone in the letter P actually reminded me of the Pixel 6P, right? And also had that kind of like camera visor at the back, right? So yeah. To be honest, out of the new iPhone models, I'm more partial towards the iPhone Air, right? It looks nice. It looks nice. But then obviously the battery life, we can't just ignore the battery life.
Again, one of the things that Apple does excellently is creating a problem and then providing a solution for it. Because what do you mean you are marketing iPhone Air as the slimmest iPhone ever, but it has like terrible battery life, and you need to buy the MagSafe charger thingy to put at the back of it. So technically, you have a proper phone. Like, that is what a proper phone should look like.
Right.
What does, how is that? That's illegal. That should be illegal.
I'll tell you one thing I find really impressive about the iPhone Air, though. Well, besides the
slimmest,
right. Another thing I find impressive is the durability, because everyone sort of assumed that it would bend, right? I mean, rewind to the iPhone 6, I think.
Yeah.
The whole issue of bend gates and everything, where people literally just going about their day-to-day will have the iPhones bent in their pockets and stuff. So a lot of people felt like this would be like the same old story with the iPhone Air. Surprisingly, that phone is solid, right? Jerry Rig Everything did a bend test, and yeah, it did quite well on the bend test, and then other people have done bend tests as well, and it literally doesn't budge until very like heavy forces.
You know how crazy it is. Like, I have a lot of respect for tech reviewers, but sometimes you guys push it to the limit. Because a week after the Apple event and the announcement was done, I saw people using like hammers, things like that to eat the iPhone. There was one video I saw, some guy put the phone on their tire of a car and then they drove. And I'm just like, what is going on? I understand you need to push it to the limits, but really?
I mean, I have no problems with that. Do love a good ability test.
No, think about it. In your normal day, like you're going out in the morning, going to work, whatever, you're running, you're cycling, you're swimming.
Yeah.
Under which of these categories would you be required to do something that might push your phone to that limit?
You never know that. You never know.
You have questions to answer. Like, so many questions we have. So many questions for you.
Yeah. And in other recent news, the UK's CMA, which is the Competition and Markets Authority, recently slapped Google search with special market status, making way for pretty much stricter regulations to be applied towards Google. And basically the idea of this is that Google has such a dominance position in the search, the online digital search and advertising markets, right? That, it's kind of like could affect competition, basically.
Yeah.
Right. And the regulator, took about 9 months to perform this kind of like investigation.
Oh, wow.
To kind of like Google and stuff. And after that, they decided to like assign the strategic market status to Google. And there could be some, can I say, remedies that the regulator might enact to address this.
Are they going to pay a fine?
That's correct. The exact remedies are actually currently on their consultation. But they may include things like allowing UK customers and residents choose and switch search engines via like choice screens, and then also like implementing data portability like systems, among other things, basically. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just really been interesting to see how regulators have kind of like been more focused on ensuring that the market's landscape is fair. For other smaller companies kind of like also thrive as well. Some notable like anti-competitive like cases that have been going on recently are, for example, the Google versus Epic games case. There's also like Apple versus Epic Games as well, where like pretty much Apple wasn't kind of like Apple has been doing a lot of different things in terms of like the App Store, right?
Yeah.
Not, for example, let's say not allowing companies to actually tell their customers or users that there are cheaper prices and product offerings if they actually download or like go to other platforms to try and like make purchases. So there's that, for example. And also like there are like anti-steering rules that kind of like Apple had typically like implemented in like their ecosystem that again prevented like apps and companies from linking out of their product and redirecting their customers to like more much cheaper like prices and stuff outside of there. So
that is so cheeky. That is actually so cheeky. I sort of like saw this come in, if I'm being honest, because if you do like a search on Google right now, but with the Apple part, the first response that you see is the Google AI thing.
Right.
And personally, I mean, I didn't consent to using that. I could see like some of the enforcement actions that they are looking into putting in place for Google is like allowing users to enable like the consent mechanism. And I think that is something that is going to be like super useful, because on a normal day, when you use Google to search for something, with the marketing part of it, you tend to see ads on other apps. Instagram. Yes, I'm looking at you. You know, to see ads that are just like tailored around what you search for on Google, and there has to be a limit to it. Like, that's too much power for one platform to have. Yeah. So I think it makes like a whole lot of sense. Best to just like level the ground for website like Binge and Microsoft.
Yeah, I think Binge has about 5% market share in like the search and digital.
Oh my goodness.
It's at least like I think in the UK.
Yeah.
That's really minute compared to Google's markets.
Yeah, but I mean, they still have people that care about them, that use them. So
Definitely.
Let's think about those people.
Did you ever use Bing?
No, never.
Do you ever try?
I use Bing
to
download Google Chrome.
Fair enough.
Like the moment if I get a new device and I say, oh, it's Bing that is on it, well, the only thing I'm using Bing to do is either download Google Chrome or download like the Microsoft web browser. Yeah. And once I'm done with that, I set Google Chrome as the default web app to put up when I'm browsing. So Bing is just there in the background. I typically forget Bing exists until maybe I'm going to settings and I see it somewhere in there. I'm like, oh, wait, you exist. Oh, interesting.
Yes. It's funny you mentioned that, because I did completely forget that Bing was like the default search.
Would you ever use Bing?
Those products and stuff like that. I mean, like back in the day when I got like a new, like when I still used Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get a new Windows laptop and then you open up, let's say, Edge or Internet Explorer or something like that, and then you
search
and then Bing pops up and everything. Like you said, immediately you're like, nope.
Download.
Chrome. Yeah, so, but yeah, there are a lot of interesting browsers out there besides Chrome. Like a lot of people have been using, for example, Arc browser.
Oh no, the experience, so smooth. I love it. I really do love Arc. But yeah, still so much they can do with the products, but it's way smooth. So smooth. I love Arc. I really do love Arc.
The browser company, which is like the company that made Arc, is actually working on a new browser.
Why would they do that?
I think it's actually been released already. It's called the browser. It's kind of like an AI browser.
Oh my goodness. Right? Not AI again.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't tried the myself, right? But I am aware that that's something that they've kind of like built over like the past
oh my
period. Yeah.
So just to like round off that, with the Google search, advertising, news updates, some other areas that are under scope, obviously the AI overview and the AI mode, they're still under scope. The Discover feed and results also under scope. Top stories and top news tab also under scope. We'll keep you updated as more news develop on this news.
Definitely. What else has happened recently in tech space, Dami?
Elon Musk. You know, if there's a conversation about tech or news circulating about tech and Elon doesn't come up in that conversation, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. And yes, Elon is slightly in trouble again. And this time he's going to be paying a lot of money to some of the former Twitter, I do not say X. Some of the Twitter former executives.
Okay.
So essentially, 4 executives were fired after he took over the company, including the then CEO.
Yeah, Parag Agrawal.
Yeah, and they never paid them severance.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to like hold on to his commitment. Apparently, he said he was going to pay like $44 billion when he tried to like back out of buying the company. If you remember then, like he tried to like
he did try to back out of that contract.
Yeah.
Right. And the 4 executives weren't having it.
Yep. They were like, nope, put your money where your mouth is. You said you were going to run through with this contract, like sign it, put your name on that paper.
So basically, these 4 execs went to court, right? With they opened like a $128 million lawsuit, right? And that's pretty much been ongoing, right? But right now, it seems like they might actually settle the lawsuit out of court.
It feels like a fraction out of the $44 billion, 128 million compared to the 44 billion that was supposed to be the...
Yeah, but he still did buy
the company. The
price, right? It's just, this is more like a lawsuit for...
the severance.
Yeah, the severance, I mean, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So they're going to like settle the lawsuits out of the courts, but we don't know yet what the terms of the settlement are. This will most likely be revealed when it's been finalized on. But Elon is always going to be Elon. Who knows what's the next thing he's going to be up to in the next couple of weeks.
Only time will tell, Dami.
Only time will tell. On the African scene, just to briefly talk a bit, Uganda has recently released a central bank digital currency. And I think that's quite fascinating because it's just like a token to push the economy forward. But this initiative is worth about $5.5 billion. And I think that is sort of like a good move, steering towards the token economy from an African point of view. I don't think there's been any country within Africa that has done that. And yes, I know Nigeria pushed back against Bitcoin.
Yeah, but whatever happened to the e-Naira?
That was just like an interesting phase, though. It went by so fast.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
I think it still exists, right? It definitely was launched.
We knew this thing wasn't going to work because honestly, if you're trading and you intend to make anything tangible happen with the Naira, it has to be in a different currency. It cannot be like, 1 Naira is equivalent to 1 e-Naira. I am not doing that. I can't. I'm very sorry. If it's like, okay, you know how sort of like well balanced, if I'm converting $1 to Naira, that is something that is like, oh yeah, it has high value and better thing, but really, converting Naira into a digital currency, if I would do that, I would expect that there is sort of like an increase in the value, not the exact value that it is in the regular currency.
So pretty much you would prefer it not to be pegged to the price of the Naira.
Yes,
basically.
Exactly. Yep. Because what's that? Why are we doing this? I don't want to. I know, again, they say like use Naira to grow the Naira, but please, I want to use my money to bring in more money, not just to like tie money down in a digital world.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, let's see down the line which other African countries have launched their own central bank digital currency. Like, I think it'd be really exciting just to see like the different ways that the citizens use these different currencies.
Yeah, totally agree. I really do agree. African currencies on a general, I mean, they're on the rise, to put it in a mild way. They don't have the same value within the continents like other currencies do, but I have like strong hope that at least one will get to that level, and the rest of us can sort of like just learn from what they do that works for them.
Okay, cool.
Now moving on to products that we found intriguing recently. You know, I quite like this segment because there's so many products out there that you use, even deliberately, not deliberately. It could be digital, it could be physical, but just to really share what you've been loving or what you think has been intriguing for you from a product point of view recently.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So for me, the most interesting products that I've seen recently is the Meta Ray-Ban display. Pretty much the new glasses from Meta that have these really cool sort of like head display that's embedded in the right lens, where you can literally, for example, see like different, can I really say augmented reality, like features as you're talking and interacting with like your world, right? For example, let's say you are trying to navigate in an environment. You're going to from point A to point B. You could see like a map in your display, right on your glasses as you're walking, right? And I feel like that's just really cool tech, and I really love the way we are slowly seeing a new form factor of personal computing device emerge, right? I mean, we've had smartphones for ages. It's been really cool just seeing how smartphones have developed over a year, but I feel like we've slowly been getting to a plateau.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there are more modern form factors of smartphones, right? Like, for example, you have foldable phones that have really been picking up recently, although they've been around for quite a bit of time, right? But now they've gotten refined over like the years. So we have, for example, the Galaxy Z Fold and Z Flip 7, right? Which are really interesting devices. But also, I'd really love to just have like a different, like, just a different way to interact with like computing and like a computer and like the digital world, basically, right? And I feel like the AR glasses are a good direction that we're going.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I mean, I haven't tried it out. The last Ray-Ban thing, which I had on my birthday wish list, and nobody got me.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and nobody got me. With very good reasons, obviously. Was the regular glasses, the one that you can use to take pictures and record videos. This new update with the AR thing, that does put like a different level to it. And I quite like it. I mean, I was in the Apple store sometime in August to sort of like get some items in there. And I did the demo of the VR glasses. I was mind blown. Like, I was so mind blown. If not for the price point, I might have been tempted to like buy it like right on the spot. But yeah, I think there's so much that can be done with augmented reality in that regard. But with glasses that you have to wear, my only fear with the glasses is, do you have to have it on all the time?
Do you have to have the glasses on all the time?
Yeah. I mean, to use it, really.
Do you mean, can you disable like the...
Yes, the AR thing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not quite sure.
But I feel like if I'm paying money for something, like maybe I just want to wear it for style. I don't want to use the AR part of it. So there should be a way to sort of like make that happen without having to buy something else. Like, I don't...
So what's your major concern about the AR sort of elements? Or is it more about like for example, a lot of these glasses, like smart glasses, have like cameras as well. Is that like also a concern of yours, like privacy as well? Is that like...
Yeah. It's not, maybe not privacy in the sense of it, but more or less like, what if I just want to maybe I just want to like wear a regular glass and keep it moving.
Oh yeah. I a lot of these, like, well, I would assume that there will be some kind of like a standby mode, right, whereby you won't actually like see different UI elements, buttons, and blah blah blah. Or rather, not really buttons, but different UI elements and components can like floating in your view, because that could be distracting if they were just there like all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that there would be a way that these things can be disabled, like a sleep mode or an inactive mode, whereby you could just use them as regular glasses. It'd be really odd if there's nothing like there's...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because that's just going to be too much. If my glasses, and this is like one of the things, I think we've talked about it with this AI assistant. Sometimes when I am in the house and maybe I'm just like having regular conversations, I have Siri turned off on my phone, by the way, because it makes me feel some type of way. Like, yes, I like the fact that when I need the AI assistant, it's there for me, but I don't want you listening to all my conversations all through the day. Like, it feels very weird.
You mentioned Siri. Do you still use Siri?
I have it turned off on my phone now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't use it on my phone. I don't use it on any of my Apple devices. But I do use Alexa. That's like primarily on my Echo Dot. And now that you mention it, I feel like Alexa might be listening 24/7 as well. What is going on? Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. You caught me.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like just the price of convenience, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, definitely, if you want to be able to just wake a device and interact with it via voice, it has to be listening to you for like literally actively, right? Because you're gonna have to say that keyword, like for example, Siri or Hey Siri. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how will he hear you if it's not like actively listening? Right?
I don't know.
I do completely.
They should figure it out somehow. I don't know how they'll make it work. They should figure it out somehow. But I think it's just like a necessary use case. It can't be listening all the time. I think there's also that privacy thing, like where they ask, do you want to use your recordings to like train the models? And I'm just no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
I feel like those privacy settings, to be honest, like in terms of data use and whether they can use your data to train models and stuff, I feel like they should be opt out by default.
Yep.
Right. But the inverse is actually the case, for example, with ChatGPT, right? Like if you're on the free plan, for example, by default, your data can be used to actually train the AI model. You actually have to go into the app yourself and then go through your settings and actually disable that, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of like feels a bit, a bit uncool, right? To be honest. Yeah. Because I wonder how many users of the free plan are actually aware that their conversations and data can
transmitted.
Like to train the AI models, or yeah.
You see, that's glad we were able to meet a middle ground on that regard. It's like, yes, it's cool, I like it, it's functional, but there has to be a way to
definitely
opt out. And for me, I mean, still similar a bit to the products that you talked about, but recently there has been a bit of controversy around this interesting product, the Friend necklace. And this is meant to be an accessory / a tech wearable, which essentially you wear around your neck. It was created by a 22-year-old CEO in the US, and one goes for $129. Essentially, you wear this around your neck and it functions like your AI friend. So they spent $1 million running campaigns around New York City.
Yeah.
And that was like about 2 weeks. It's gone completely viral.
Okay.
And not for good reasons. Like over 10,000 posters pasted around the city. So people have been complaining, like, what is the point of wearing a necklace that is an AI friend when you can just go outside and make actual friends? And you know how funny it is? Like, you need to download an app and then your necklace is connected to the app.
Yeah.
So when you are speaking to it, you raise it, you speak to it, then you put it back. It takes that information, puts it in the app, processes, then it responds to you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yeah, I want an AI assistant, which sort of like, I want an AI assistant, but I think that is taking it a bit too far.
Yeah. Just the concept of AI friends, right? I feel it feels a bit dystopian to me. I don't really think that that's the future that I want to see.
Yeah. Because the way they market it is supposed to be like the AI substitute for a real friend, one that would listen, respond, and support you through an always on mic. And you can ask the AI thing questions, chat with your necklace throughout the day. Your necklace will respond via a connected app. And it's just like so funny because how do you make that work? Because if you are so dependent on your necklace, I think, like you said, it just disconnects you from what the real world will look like, and you be caught up in the old space of the fact that, you don't need other people, or you don't need actual friends. And nobody can survive in the real world without that. The way that I see it, it's just like you need real people. You need a community around you, and your community cannot be a bunch of necklaces So imagine I was moving houses or something. What would happen then? Who would come and help? Or if I was celebrating my birthday, what would happen? I would wait for my AI necklace to start singing happy birthday to me.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one, right? I have read that there have been cases where people, even from like in terms of chatbots like ChatGPT, where people have actually developed
feelings,
bonds with their like assistants. Doesn't even need to really be like a emotional like thing, but then have developed this kind of like strong bonds, right, with their chatbots and assistants and stuff. And for a good example of this is like with the release of the GPT-5, right, when it was first released, a lot of customers sort of like complained that the tone, basically their AI assistant had sort of like changed overnight.
Yeah.
Like basically the tone of responses
became more
that
serious.
it gave were a lot different from what their like AI friend, what they were used to with like the previous model, right? And so people felt like, oh, like I've already like gotten so used to like my AI and stuff like that, right? My AI assistants and stuff, but now it sounds completely different. What happened? What did you do to him or it, right? And so there was a bit of backlash as well during that period, right? So yeah, it's really just interesting how people are developing sort of like bonds with their...
It feels like a Black Mirror episode. That's literally the way it feels like to me, because everything that can go wrong, and you can't be dependent on these things, because at the core of it, the company is still responsible for what they decide to ship and how they decide to ship it. I mean, God forbid if they're like, oh, we want to shut down ChatGPT tomorrow, there's nothing you can do. It's their decision. Someone else could buy the company and decide to like do something else with it, and that is fine. You just can't be dependent on AI in general, because it changes really, like it really changes. But yeah, friend, that is the name of the necklace. If anyone has tried it, if you own one, because apparently over 200,000 people have bought it. So if you have one, let us know what your thoughts are about it. I think that's one that is interesting and controversial. At the same time, will I be getting one? Definitely not, because I mean, I have real friends. But yeah, if you ever try that out, let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, I will be looking forward to like hearing your thoughts as well. Also your comments and generally your perspective on like other things that we've discussed, right, in this episode. Yeah.
And with that, we've come to the end of Texacto for this week. Join us next week for another episode of fresh news around tech happening globally.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on the latest from us, you can follow us on different socials at Texacto Pod. And also if you just want to say hi, you can also reach us at hello@texacto.live.
And with that, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Take care.